Today, we're diving into a country that really punches way above its weight. You know, a place where massive wealth comes in a super small package. Welcome to our deep dive on the richest country you've probably never given a second thought to, Luxembourg.
So let me ask you this. What if the absolute lowest salary you could make started at over 49,000 euros a year? And I'm not talking about the average salary. Nope, that's the minimum wage. This is a real place, and that's the reality we're unpacking today.
Okay, now on top of that, imagine if all public transport, buses, trams, trains, you name it, was completely free, like zero cost. It sounds like something out of a dream, right? But nope, that's just everyday life there. Just those two facts alone tell you we're talking about somewhere pretty special.
So yeah, the place we're talking about is the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. It's this tiny, pocket-sized powerhouse that somehow manages to mix incredible wealth with this really deep, historic European vibe.
Just to give you a sense of scale, Luxembourg is tiny. We're talking just under 2,600 square kilometers, with a population of about 700,000 people. I mean, that makes it one of the smallest nations in all of Europe. And it's just kind of wedged right there between France, Germany, and Belgium, smack dab in the heart of the continent.
So this all begs the big question, right? How on earth did a country this small become the richest in the world per capita? Well, it wasn't just a happy accident. It was all part of a very deliberate plan.
I mean, the contrast here is just wild. You've got this tiny piece of land smaller than a lot of big cities, and yet it's #1 globally for GDP per person. That's the economic output for every single person living there. And that incredible concentration of wealth, that's really the secret sauce to understanding Luxembourg.
So how'd they pull it off? Well, their success really stands on a few key pillars. First, you've got decades of political stability, which makes businesses feel safe. Then they poured money into top-notch infrastructure and tech, making it a great place to set up shop. The workforce there? Super skilled, super self-reliant, which is why unemployment is crazy low. And they're always looking to the future, with a big focus on research and development.
And here's something you might not know. While everyone thinks of Luxembourg for banking these days, a huge part of its wealth was actually built on heavy industry. Get this, the world's second largest steel company, ArcelorMittal, is based right there. It just goes to show you this country's got deep roots in old-school industry, not just modern finance.
And that's the thing, they were smart. They took that industrial foundation and just brilliantly pivoted, turning themselves into one of Europe's top financial hubs. Now it's home to tons of international banks. Plus, they host major EU institutions like the European Court of Justice, which really cements their importance in Europe.
All right, so we've covered the money side of things, but what's it actually like to live there, surrounded by all that prosperity? Let's switch gears and talk about the day-to-day life, the culture, and of course, those awesome perks.
So, let's go back to that free public transport thing. It's probably the most famous perk, right? But why do it? You might think it's just because they're rich and generous, but there's actually a super practical reason for it. Okay, so here's the deal. The whole point wasn't just to be nice, it was to fix their terrible traffic problem. See, when everyone's got money, everyone's got a car. Car ownership is off the charts. So the government figured, hey, let's make transport free, maybe people will ditch their cars. And the result? Well, it kinda helped, but people in Luxembourg really love their cars, so yeah, the traffic is still pretty bad.
But what about the people, the vibe of the place? Well, the culture is really defined by a serious work ethic and this constant drive to improve yourself. Education is a huge deal. They've got this deep respect for their own history and heritage, which creates this atmosphere that's both proud and really welcoming. And at the same time, you've got the younger generation just killing it in science and tech.
Okay, now this next part, this could be the most important bit for a lot of you listening. For the longest time, getting into Luxembourg was tough, but that's all changed. So let's talk about what could be your golden ticket.
You're going to want to remember this date, September 1st, 2023. That's the day a new law kicked in that was a total game changer. See, Luxembourg had a big shortage of skilled workers, so they officially threw open the doors for professionals from outside of Europe to come live and work there.
So, what's the catch? What do you need to qualify? It's actually pretty straightforward. You've got to be a skilled worker. You need to have professional experience. And, this is a big one, you have to be willing to learn the local language. If you can check those boxes, then that door is wide open for you.
And get this, it's not just about you. They really want your whole family to succeed. They have programs specifically to help your spouse find a job or even start a business. It's a really thoughtful, complete approach to bringing people in.
But let's be clear, Luxembourg is so much more than just a place for finance. It is an absolutely beautiful country. Seriously, it looks like it was ripped straight from the pages of a fairy tale. Once you get past all the banks and business, there's this whole other world of just stunning scenery waiting for you.
And the perfect place to start is the capital itself, Luxembourg City. The Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is just breathtaking. It's basically a fortress city, built over these incredible cliffs and deep ravines. The old walls are so impressive that they actually nicknamed it the Gibraltar of the North.
And if you're more of an outdoorsy person, you have to check out the Mullerthal region. They call it Little Switzerland, and as soon as you see it, you totally get why. Picture these amazing mossy rock formations, thick forests, little streams. It is an absolute paradise for anyone who loves to hike.
Another spot you can't miss is Echternach. This is the oldest town in the entire country. It's famous for its gorgeous medieval buildings and its historic abbey, which was founded way back in the 7th century. It just has this incredibly peaceful, historic feel to it. So when you put it all together, what do you have? You've got this tiny little nation with a gigantic economy, a really rich culture, and just stunning natural beauty. And now, thanks to these new laws, it's also a place with giant opportunities for skilled people from anywhere in the world. So I guess there's really only one question left to ask. Could this be your next chapter?